Mr. Abulshaikov, first Deputy Chairman of the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs of Kazakhstan, Mr. Abulshaikov, who will speak to us about strategy and support mechanisms for SMEs and the role of Business Council.
Thank you very much, dear moderator. We're experiencing some problem with connection of interpreters. So on behalf of the Atameken, I will make a statement and deliver a speech, if you allow me. On behalf of Atameken, I would like to welcome all the participants of SICA Business Council. I think this meeting is very important because we are celebrating 29 years since the creation of SICA. And for Atameken, you know, this is a non-commercial organization, and the objective is formation favorable conditions for the business development of entrepreneurship based on effective partnership between business and government. Atameken, together with the Ministry of National Economy, continues its work on creation of favorable conditions on the local level, and these measures will help us to improve the business climate in Kazakhstan and overall. Atameken also is involved in all activities of the Eurasian Union that stimulates the business development in Kazakhstan and the cooperation between the countries of the Union. Thus, the representative of the Chamber of Entrepreneurs participates in discussion and elaboration of all strategic documents, as within the Kazakhstan and also outside, and we count on the support of our partners in this regard. In addition, Atameken also develops and tries to improve the cooperation with strategic investors on different levels, on country level and also on regional level. You know that we have several projects supported by Atameken that we make sure they were implemented like a Tainshi Mai with a partnership with a Chinese company, consulting and project support in obtaining favorable conditions and preferences together with other agencies, of course, as Kazakh Invest. Also, BTI Kazakhstan, this is a joint partnership with Turkey, Germany, and Kazakhstan as well. So we support through our through our regional offices, like in Mangistau region or in Akmola, Karaganda, and other regions. You know that southern regions of Kazakhstan are quite active and they have a lot of projects. So what we suggest is that with the support of SICA members, we will help to create new opportunities in Kazakhstan, for example, like land allocation, technology transfer, human resources support, some funding, including through the International Financial Center of Astana. So we think that this business council makes a lot of development in Kazakhstan, and we think that with the support and through the business council and its platform, we will attract a lot of interest from international business community to Kazakhstan. Having all this in mind, I would like to thank you all participants on behalf of National Chamber of Entrepreneurs of Atameken. Wish you productive work and negotiations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayan Yerena, for your presentation on behalf of Atameken. Atameken, the National Chambers of Entrepreneurs, is the largest non-profit business organization in Kazakhstan that encompasses almost all small, medium, and large enterprises in the country. And your role and your importance in enhancing the dialogue between the business and government to promote trade and economic prosperity is paramount. So thank you very much for everything that you are doing with regards to helping not only Kazakhstani local businesses thrive, but also enhance the relationship with international investors and partners for development of economic and investment activity in our country. Thank you very much, Mr. Yerenov. Next, please allow me to give the welcoming remarks to the Executive Director of the CICA Secretariat, His Excellency Ambassador Kairat Sarıbay, who has been instrumental in making all of this happen and who is the driving force behind and the brains behind the organization to promote economic prosperity, development, and many other important issues with regards to regional economic development and stability in Kazakhstan and in Asia. Your Excellency, Ambassador Sarıbay, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, distinguished moderator. Excellency, distinguished Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen. Let me express my appreciation to the Kazakh National Chamber of Entrepreneurs, Atameken, for this opportunity to address to the business community of the broad SICA area and warmly welcome all the members of the 4th SICA Business Council session. I would like to thank the Chairmanship and Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Mr. Mukhtar Tleuberde, for his constant and substantive support and personal participation in today's session of the SICA Business Council. Mr. Chair, within 30 years since its establishment, the Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, as we call it SICA, proved its relevance as one of the levers to consolidate Asian nations for the common good and security. I have the honor and pleasure to serve to SICA, an international forum whose relevance is growing significantly in light of the challenges the world currently experiencing and the associated opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, which are on the flip side of challenges, I would like to mention recently published fact that speaks for itself. Asia has grabbed $1 out of every 2 USDs in new investment over the past decade, according to McKinsey Davos Economic Forum 2020 report. According to other research, it is also expected that by 2030, Asia will surpass North America and Europe combined in terms of power, GDP growth, population size, and technology investment. In the time the world faces the most significant global disruption, Asia proves its ability for the progress. Mr. Chair, the establishment of the SICA Business Council was initiated by Russian Federation back in 2011. The regulation on Business Council was approved in 2014. To date, 3 meetings of Business Council have been successfully held, including in Beijing, Nur-Sultan, and Moscow. SICA philosophy is to deepen trust and expand cooperation between its member states through joint implementation of confidence-building measures within 5 dimensions. The Business Council and Business Forum, which will be held tomorrow, are held under the economic dimension of interaction, which covers currently 8 areas: development of small and medium-sized enterprises, energy security, information technologies, tourism, transport corridors, agriculture, finance, and sustainable development. The economic dimension is as the most promising for revival of business activity in the situation of the global economic downturn is being updated at the initiative of the SICA member states. In particular, the implementation of new specific measures and areas of interaction like pipeline security, safety of financial transactions to prevent money laundering, as well as the novelty connectivity are currently under the consideration. Mr. Chair, the SICA plan for 2021 contains 20 activities related to the economic dimension. 7 events out of these activities are directly related to the implementation of confidence-building measures in the field of SME, including the meetings of the Business Council, the Business Forum, the roundtable discussion on digitalization of the economy, the seminar in the field of cooperation on financial technologies and investment, a training course in the field of finance, a training course in the field of sustainable development, and seminar on the development of small and medium-sized enterprises. The mentioned activities were hosted by respectively Thailand, China, and Kazakhstan. I use this opportunity to express our gratitude to India's valuable contribution to the development of the economic dimension. Just last week, the government of India conducted a comprehensive training seminar on the use of renewable energy to strengthen global energy security. China held a 2-day seminar aimed at improving the skills of agricultural procedures. Chinese experts shared amazing opportunities to increase crop yields, restore soil fertility, and use drones to control yields. I would also like to thank the Russian Federation in its capacity as the coordinator of confidence-building measures in the development of small and medium-sized businesses for holding the roundtable digital economy and its role in the development of SMEs in the SICA states. That was last year. As part of this event, Russia presented a digital platform for SMEs as a tool to promote the efficiency of small and medium-sized enterprises. Taking into account the effectiveness of this instrument of business activity, I think it would be rather interesting to consider this Russian digital platform for SME as a basis for creating a digital platform for supporting SMEs throughout the entire SICA area. I would like also to thank all member states for your kind support. I would like to especially thank Turkey and Thailand for their efforts as co-coordinators of confidence-building measures in the development of small and medium-sized enterprises. Mr. Chair, in conclusion, I hope that your engaged participation, concrete proposals, and joint projects will add value to ensuring food security and prosperity in the SICA space. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Sarıbay, for very clearly laying out not only the very interesting insights on the global economic development and the shifting of global economic center of gravity towards Asia, but also the areas of importance with regards to economic dimensions, with regards to promoting trade and capacity building within nations in terms of business landscape. You have also mentioned very, very good and valuable points with regards to sustainable development in general and the role of sustainable development in terms of further diversifying and promoting and enhancing business. You also spoke about global energy security and food security. This is also, of course, of paramount importance, especially during this pandemic times. The food security, the global supply chains, the energy security, all of these are very, very important aspects. And hopefully, using today's Business Council, we would have an opportunity also to have better connection among all the member states, 27 member states, with regards to enhancing and joint work on all these very, very important areas. And thank you very much again, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sarıbay, for all the hard work that you and your team, together with all our colleagues from all the member states, are doing to promote these values. Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give the floor to our dear colleagues from the Astana International Financial Center, to Mr. Christopher Campbell-Holt, who is the Registrar and Chief Executive of the Astana International Financial Center Court and International Arbitration Center. In Kazakhstan, in our country, we're very happy with the development of AIFC because, as mentioned also by His Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, it really enhances our rule of law, our investor right protection in our country to further promote and enhance the business. There is no such thing in the whole of Eurasia as English common law, and we have it in Kazakhstan, thankfully to the initiative by the leadership of our country with the creation of the Astana International Financial Center. So, Your Excellency, Mr. Christopher Campbell-Holt, please, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for that very kind introduction. Your Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, Your Excellencies, distinguished participants and guests. My role today, as our Chairman just introduced, is to explain how Kazakhstan now, for the first time in Central Asia, provides truly world-class international standard dispute resolution. Why is this so important for you, the members, and for investors coming to Kazakhstan and the Central Asia region? It's so important. We all, especially during the course of our work at the AIFC, talk to serious investors from all around the world. The number one question we get is, how do we protect investor rights? There are many investors, most investors will not invest if they are not persuaded, if they do not have the trust and confidence, which is crucial to secure those investments. For many investors, it's protection first, and then it's the project and the investment that comes. So that is why it's so important to talk about dispute resolution. And we offer the very best services, applying the highest international standards of the rule of law through the AIFC Court and its sister International Arbitration Center. The AIFC provides a one-stop shop for commercial dispute resolution for all investors. This is particularly important for small and medium-sized enterprises. We deal specifically with all commercial and investor areas, but specifically on matters relating to agriculture, food, and now construction disputes, which I believe is of particular relevance and importance to today's discussion. The court at the AIFC applies the English common law. This common law has been created for the first time in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan, at the AIFC, as the AIFC acting law. It applies the very highest standards of international common law, which are familiar to other financial centers throughout the Middle East, throughout Asia, of course, the UK, and in the US and other parts of the world. We have it at the AIFC in Kazakhstan at the option of investors in small and medium-sized enterprises with agriculture, food, construction, and other investor areas, if they wish to apply it. And we believe, and we are seeing the evidence, that investors do want to apply this law because it's a law that they are familiar with from their years and experience of investing in other parts of the world. To support and protect the rights of these investors, we have created a world-class common law commercial court, which is chaired by one of the most distinguished common law judges around the world, His Excellency Lord Mance, the former Deputy President of the United Kingdom Supreme Court. He is supported by 8 world-class, most distinguished and respected by international investors, particularly with small and enterprise sector, agriculture, food and construction, particularly construction, if I might add, with international common law and other international dispute resolution experience throughout the world, not just from England and Wales. We are already being used as a common law court for construction law disputes, and we know that we have been included in many contracts for dispute resolution under those investor contracts in the agriculture, food and construction industry sectors. We also have an arbitration centre, which is chaired by Barbara Doman QC, more than 40 years international experience of arbitration and mediation and commercial litigation. She is supported by an absolutely world-class panel of international and local from Kazakhstan, Russia and other parts of the Central Asia markets, distinguished arbitrators and mediators. We have we're coming to the end of our second quarter of only the 4th year of our operations in the AIFC as our common law court and international arbitration centre, and I'm happy to tell you that we have already successfully resolved and been tested in 526 dispute resolution cases, both at the court and at the arbitration centre. A number of these disputes have already involved investors coming to Kazakhstan in the construction sector. We have, as a court and arbitration centre, been included in more than 5,000 business contracts, investor contracts, and other business type contracts. These contracts have included investors coming in the construction, agriculture, and food sectors. We know this because users of our court and other people of interest in Kazakhstan and the Central Asia region have told us that at a minimum, more than 5,000 business contracts now include use of our court and arbitration centre. Critical to everything I've just said is enforcement. Investors, to be protected ultimately, want to have a quick, cost-effective dispute resolution system to give them the absolute trust and confidence that not if, but when they invest in Kazakhstan, that they will, without any question whatsoever, be protected with independent, impartial, and above all, incorruptible protection of their investor rights. We now provide that through our world-class services in the AIFC in Kazakhstan, not just for Kazakhstan, but for the entire Central Asia region. And we are succeeding and proving to the investors that we can be trusted, and we are being trusted because of the successful cases we have had, which are now, as I said, 526, which is far above and beyond what we would normally expect for this type of operation at this still early stage of our development, because we have been included in more than 5,000 contracts, including investors in the construction, agriculture, and food sectors, new investors coming to Kazakhstan. And I would like to add, finally, if I may, because we have, without fail, enforced successfully in 100% of our cases what has been due in the judgments of our AFC court. 100% satisfaction of investors and parties in dispute coming to the AFC court have received the money they have been due under the contract, the investor contract and related business, as ordered by a judgment of the AFC court. So for all of those reasons, we truly believe Kazakhstan can now say it is among the very best international centres for investment through the AFC, but throughout the whole of Kazakhstan as well. And one of the key reasons for that is because the AFC provides world-class international standard dispute resolution and protection of investor rights, with particular focus and importance for the small and medium enterprise sector, for construction, agriculture, and food. I hope that's helpful, and that will close my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Registrar and Chief Executive. I really enjoyed your presentation, and you have started with the #1 question in the minds of any investor, that is, how do we protect investor rights? And exactly this is why the Astana International Financial Center has been created. And as you rightly mentioned, we do have absolutely world-class panel, and we do have great enhancements in the rule of law and investor rights protection thanks to that. So all the numbers that we've achieved, very high numbers with regards to ranking in the ease of doing business, with regards to investor rights protection, all of this is the result of the 4-year journey, which is actually not a very long time frame for such a massive development. And all the hard work that you are doing with regards to already helping 5,000 business cases with regards to structuring their business contracts correctly and according to international jurisdictions and regulations, transparency, and the ease of doing business. And thank you so much for your active participation and support and help with regards to resolving already 526 cases. All of these numbers, under each of these numbers, actually, there is a clear case, there is a clear investor or a businessman or a company that you have helped to do business better and faster and more efficiently, and most importantly, to do it correctly with regards to protecting and enhancing investor rights. Thank you so much for all your work with regards to enhancing our not only investor rights protection, but our country's investment climate in general. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce the Deputy Chairman of the Business Council Board from the Russian Federation and Deputy Head of the Directorate for International Cooperation of the Russian Corporation SMEs, Mr. Kondrashov. And it is my great pleasure to invite such a distinguished speaker to talk to us on a very interesting and important topic of a Russian experience in supporting agricultural producers. We all see the great progress that Russia has achieved with regards to enhancing its not only competitiveness, but also efficiency in the agricultural sector. And I think it would be very, very interesting for all of us to hear the valuable insights from this successful case. Mr. Kondrashov, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for your introduction. Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, the esteemed delegates and the honored guests and participants of today's meeting. Me, as I'm representing a Russian Small Medium Business Corporation, and as our agriculture sector in the field of small medium business is rapidly growing, we have some measures for support of small and medium companies which work in agricultural sector. We would like to mention that all small and medium enterprises working in Russia with foreign capital, which meet the criteria of Russian law for small and medium enterprises, are considered in Russia as Russian small medium enterprises and can receive all the means of support which are offered by Russian government and small and medium business corporation. If you don't mind, I would like to share my screen with the delegates. Wait a moment, please. So, do you see the screen?
Yes,
Okay.
we see, Mr. Kondrashov, we see.
Thank you very much. So, Russian Small and Medium Corporation, as a development institution in small and medium entrepreneurship in Russia, offers a set of measures in order to support small and medium enterprises, especially in agriculture sector. We provide financial and guarantee support, access to procurement of biggest companies with state ownership, legal support, special programs for agricultural SME exporters, for self-employed companies. We also have a set of measures which help the companies to cultivate their production and managing capacity. And we work on basis of constant feedback from business. And as Mr. Saribay mentioned, we presented the digital platform for small and medium enterprises, and this platform will be improved and will offer all these measures and much more to small medium enterprises in a digital way. And it was very pleasant to hear that our experience can be interesting for implementation in the countries of SICA, members of SICA. So what are our main instruments in order to support agricultural cooperatives, farmers, and SMEs in agribusiness? First, it is guarantee support. We provide up to 70% of guarantee coverage for the credits which small medium enterprises receive from commercial banks. We also have a credit support on special preferential terms from our subsidiary SME Bank. We also have Thank you very much for the opportunity to continue my presentation, but now I'm not able to share with you my screen because the organizer has switched off this opportunity. Can you give me a right to share my presentation? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
It was granted. It was granted. So I'm resuming. I would like to repeat once again that our instruments in the field of agricultural SME support are various, and some of them lay in the field of financial support. First of all, guarantee support, credit support, and leasing products. We also have 4 subsidiary leasing companies which can provide for agricultural business equipment on preferential leasing terms. The next our activity is to facilitate the integration of SMEs, agricultural SMEs and other SMEs into the supply chains of foreign companies, first of all, which have already started their production on the territory of Russian Federation, and the companies which work abroad. And this can be a very interesting opportunity for the companies, agricultural companies from other SICA states. So we can try to find the need and the demand from Russian supply chains, from Russian biggest retailers, from Russian biggest producers of agricultural products, and to make a trans-border supply chain. It can be very interesting, and like one of the example yesterday, a new plant which produces flour from grain was opened in Orenburg region of Russia, and which supplies now flour to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan markets, and the grain for it can be gained from Kazakhstan and from other countries. So I would like also to introduce some of the success stories. For example, the success story of building a plant which processes strawberries in Lipetsk region and provides these berries to Danone and to other biggest international companies in yogurts and other milk products. And this project was made with the support of a Russian small medium corporation, guarantee support and credit support from SME Bank. And the other case which can be very interesting for all the members is that now the consumption of agricultural products switches to more and more healthy products. And in this case, in Russia, we supported a project of building a plant which processes Jerusalem potatoes and makes inulin. Inulin is a prebiotic which is used in healthy food, in healthy products, in products for children, and this can be very new area for cooperation between the agricultural companies, SME companies from SICA members, because more and more in the whole world people start to think about their health and about consuming healthy products. So at this stage I will finish my presentation. We once again we invite all the members and all small medium companies from the SICA members to work with Russia, with our corporation, in order to find mutually beneficial cooperation projects for our SMEs. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kondrashov. Your presentation was very interesting to me on all the 3 points that you've mentioned in the 3 areas. So especially the facilitation of integration of Russian SMEs into supply chains of foreign companies. This is really, really valuable, especially in the context of the global supply chain disruptions and all the countries seeking new ways how to make their existing supply chains more secure, but also how to diversify their existing supply chains, including interconnection and creating a network, regional networks to enhance supply chains. Also, I really liked your approach on the clusters development with regards to certain products. And thank you so much also for highlighting the new areas of cooperation available to countries and companies from 27 member states of CICA. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is a distinguished representative from Vietnam. And I want to specially thank her for all the contributions that she is doing to support the work of the SICA organization. So please let me give the floor to the presentation by the President of Vietnam EU Business Chapter, Mrs. Vermeulen, to talk to us about the introduction of Vietnam EU Trade Promotion Center.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Yes, I'm Thanh Vermeulen from Vietnam. Like to see all of you today. We are Vietnam EU International Business Chapter was established in the context of the VEFTA event with the purpose of guiding Vietnam-based manufacturers to promote Vietnam products to the international market. The chapter is controlled, directed by the Vietnamese private business association. Established since 2013 and just by the former Deputy Minister, Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Điểu. Our mission is to create a community of business that support each other in exporting Vietnamese products to the European and international markets, as well as boosting up the consumption of the domestic market. We are connected community of products, doctors, trust, and commerce, and we grow together as one unit, strong and solid. We have more than 30 members, 60 members, and also non-permanent member is the more than 700 members. We have many kind of products from Vietnam can introduce to you, and also we can introduce your product from the countries to our country, to Vietnam too. We have the center to support to the business when they have product want to promote to everyone from us country come to Vietnam, or also Vietnamese people can know about the product when you want to sell to Vietnam markets. That's why we want to connect with you today, and also after that we can talk more about product from the country or from our country. So thank you so much for
Mrs. Vermeulen, thank you very much for your kind presentation, and again, very special thank you.
Much, today, and we hope after today we can keep the contact with someone if they interacting with the Vietnam products. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Mrs. Vermeulen, thank you very much for your kind presentation and the opportunities that you laid out to grow together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give the floor to our next speaker with a statement by Deputy Chairman of the Business Council Board from the Kingdom of Thailand, the member of the board of the Federation of Thai Industries, Yu Silpsarnivich, to talk to us about the food export and medical tourism opportunities and Thailand's competitive advantages. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all SICA delegates. I am Yuttana, member from Thailand. It is nice to see all of you here, even though we cannot meet you up front because the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, anyway, time is short, so I will go through the briefing information that concern on the SME situation in Thailand according to the prospect of SICA members cooperation during COVID-19 pandemic. In Thailand, more than 85% of total companies in countries are SME and micro-sized companies. Now government try to focus and must rely on the big impact of COVID-19 that you know that now they are smashing hard to the company like SME. Talking in the big pictures, we are now facing the global challenge towards an inclusive and sustainability to the post-COVID state and the global trade war with high competitions of economic recoveries or could be economic badness when COVID situations stay in longer period. Moreover, the global vaccination distributions now become the political issue worldwide. And finally, being impact to SME and people anyway. For more details, I want to share the impact of COVID-19 in terms of the industrial point of view. Starting on demand side, this is continuous decreasing on people purchasing power and quickly changing of buying behaviors, including new normal models due to the country lockdown policies. This creates the blocking of supply chains in many industries in the futures, especially the food, the supply chain of constructions, and now almost every industry. Then the supply side, mostly SME are lack of financial liquidities. Only expense activities occur, but no adequate revenues to survive the business. Moreover, the supply chain disruptions make higher cost of logistics in spite of the economic declining take place. The new operations determination of SME to control the pandemic in business cluster become the must-do procedures in all SME companies, including some online operations such as the work from home operations, now considered to be new and standard operations. Also, the futures operation should be more and more. Thailand's, our government try to give support and give some subsidies by giving some amount of money to people to buy daily products such as food and some other things. This is to stimulate the violence of the country economy. But you know, the monies, we cannot have big monies to do that all the times. So we try to do some things to open the countries and try to give the vaccinations, distributions to all the people very quickly. Go back to the SICA prospects. I think we must ensure the realization of the starting of SICA members collaborations in a timely manner. In the conclusions, I think we could do something to propose you as a SICA member, like we can, I think sooner or later, each country have to release the country lockdown step by step. So we could start doing some things to create opportunities, especially on the online business matching between members. especially on two sectors. One is the most important sector is the food processing and agricultural, which are concerning on the big portions of SME in many countries. Another important business sector is around the healthcare and medical, such as medical tourism, healthcare and business, rehabilitation, rejuvenation, medical instrument and equipment. I think this could be the big business for the futures. Moreover, we should find an appropriate SICA information platform or website which SICA members can do online access to share what is useful to each other and can share best practice activities and experience, which may be useful to members and make shorten development times instead of wasting trial and errors. This could make tighten relationship and more collaboration between SICA members as well. Thank you for our participants and hope we can get successful and fruitful results on the SICA meeting today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to our dear colleague, the member of the board of the Federation of Thai Industries. Thank you for clearly laying out the issues on confidence building measures, on the work of the Federation of Thai Industries, and the opportunities for collaboration among the member states and countries and companies. Next, please allow me to give the floor to our honorable member from the Republic of Turkey, the Deputy Chairman of the Business Council Board, Vice President of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Organization, Mr. Sahin, to talk to us about the opportunities of the Turkish construction materials industries.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, distinguished guests. Today, unfortunately, our Vice President, Mr. Tunay Şahin, could not attend the meeting due to the last-minute change in his program. I would like to greet all participants on behalf of my organization, COSGAP. My name is Selim Sarkan Ercan. I am the head of EU and Foreign Affairs Department of COSGAP. Let me share my screen. I think you can see. Today, I will make a brief presentation on the construction materials sector in Turkey. But firstly, I want to give a little bit information about my organization, COSGAP. COSGAP has been providing support and services to SMEs since 1990. Almost all sectors are covered by COSGAP, and the target group of COSGAP is defined by the Council of Ministers in Turkey. Our main aim is, as the affiliated body of the Minister of Industry and Technology, is to increase SMEs' share in Turkish economy and also to raise their competitiveness and ensuring their integration into industry in accordance with the economical developments. We have 81 provinces in Turkey. And in each province, we have COSGAP directorates, more than one in our metropole cities, such as Istanbul and Ankara. And we have more and nearly 100 representative offices in towns. This organization infrastructure makes us to analyze and understand the needs of SMEs precisely. As of today, we have approximately 2,000 employees and more than 600 staff at our headquarters in Ankara. And also last year, 2020, our budget realization was around $320 million US. And in Turkey, SMEs can be classified in 3 different classes according to the number of employees and net sales figures and financial balance sheet numbers. These are micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And in Turkey, more than 99% of all enterprises are SMEs, and more than 90% of the SMEs are in micro scale. And now let's look at the contribution of SMEs in Turkish economy. SMEs contribute to economic growth by creating new business opportunities and supporting a balanced economical development. And I would like to underline that more than 70% of the employment is provided by SMEs, and 50% of value added created is by SMEs in Turkey, and also more than half of the total export of our country is done by SMEs. And coming to the construction materials sector, I would also like to say that as COSGAP, we provide support to construction materials sector in Turkey. When we look at the sector figures, the total market size is nearly $80 billion. The total exports exceeds $21 billion. That means the 12% of all exports of Turkey via this sector is done via this sector. Construction materials industry is an important sector for Turkey since we can compete globally, and we are in the 5th position in export ranking for the sector. And when we look at the export and import figures, for the last decade, our export increased from $18 million to $21 million. Last year, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we have $7 billion imports for construction materials last year, and that's just the 3% in all Turkey's import figures. And when we look at our export markets, actually, for the sector, the leading country is United States, and following by Israel, Germany, Iraq, and England. As a conclusion, with our active contractors all across the world, Turkey's construction sector has been at the forefront of the country's recent economical developments. And over the last decades, the sector has transformed the skyline of Istanbul and other metropole cities, renewed and extended Turkey's transportation infrastructure, and built new residential and industrial facilities from the Aegean to the Black Sea region. And construction materials industry employs tens of thousands directly, and it's one of the leading exporting sectors in Turkey. And new and great opportunities in this sector for the Turkey. Thank you for listening.
Very much, Mr. Selim Serkan. Obviously, the Turkish construction materials industry is very important and very interesting globally. I was hoping to see among the top 20 countries Kazakhstan as well, because we know the very active participation and presence of Turkish companies in the construction sector of Kazakhstan, both on the services side and on the goods side. And thank you very much from our country to help us build and develop our wonderful capital, which with many most important and iconic buildings in our new capital have been built with the help of our dear friends from Turkey, with Turkish companies and construction materials. Thank you very much for this. The whole country is very grateful for you to that. And we're looking forward to further enhancing our cooperation in the construction sector industry, but also in many other industries.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, next, please allow me to give the floor to Mr. Habibullah Dawn, the Vice President of the Federation of Bangladesh Chambers of Commerce and Industry, to talk to us about the trade and investment opportunities in Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, all SICA delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I thank to SICA chairman and board for making this business council, and I wish it will be success. Well, let me give you some economic scenario and investment of Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, now we have one of the most liberal and flexible investment regime in Southeast Asia, and ease of doing business measures are being addressed at the highest policy level. Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, BIDA, has launched various one-step service that provides 41 services of 12 agencies currently. To attract FDI, the government has also initiated a set of incentive facilities for investors. Some of the fiscal measures are reduced income tax for 5 to 10 years for designated sector, or up to 10 years for economic zone. Tax exemption on the input of capital materials, bond warehouse, and cash incentives, export, etc. Bangladesh our country, they are going to establish 100 special economic zone. It's underway. It's a part of Bangladesh strategic measure to update the industrial ecosystem for domestic and foreign direct investment. Distinguished guests, it is imperative that our regional ties reflect the potential opportunities. We have to deepen our cooperation in the areas of some, I'm giving you some areas like business cooperation of investment in automobile, chemical, agro, mechanism, energy, EMCG, and service cooperation in shipping and tourism. Besides joint high-tech research, development and innovation on light, medium, and heavy industries. Knowledge transfer to transaction to fourth industry, like including service sector, cooperation, ICT, cybersecurity, startup, ecosystem, among others. Business process reengineering, MSMES, joint collaboration for demand-driven technical skill module, TVET program for manufacturing, industry, service, quantity, and economy and industry academia gap assessment. Joint exploration and joint venture for blue economy. FBCCI, it's a trade apex body in Bangladesh. It's always open to facilitate your business interest in Bangladesh. So under leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, that 21st century, our Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, this year has graduated from LDCs to developing country. The government has also taken a number of mega development projects to achieve the SDGs by 2031 and become a developed nation by 2041. The country is also implementing the Delta Plan 2100 to face the challenge of economy environment globally. So in closing, we have, through today's event, built your heritage and cooperation, our strategic build, and inshallah, we will keep our support always to this sticker. Thank you very much.
Mr. Habib Uladaun, the Vice President of the Federation of Bangladesh Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give the next floor to our honorable speaker, the Chairman of Kazakh Invest National Company, Mr. Meirjan Yusupov, to talk to us about the investment support system in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Mr. Meirjan Yusupov, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Dear Excellencies, distinguished guests and participants, on behalf of Kazakh Invest, I am pleased to welcome you today at the SICA Business Council. I will present the investment support system in Kazakhstan. Since the very first years of independence, Kazakhstan prioritized development of a market economy and attraction of investment in cooperation with international business community. Thanks to the political stability, strategic location at the crossroads between Europe and Asia, and access to major markets, business-friendly environment, and comprehensive state support, Kazakhstan continued to draw an increasing attention of international investors. I should underline that investors' right protection is an utmost priority for Kazakhstan. There are multiple communication platforms at the highest level to address the issues raised by investors. So including the Foreign Investors Council chaired by the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and Investment Council chaired by the Prime Minister. The launch of the Astana International Financial Center that harbors the English Common Law Court, the International Arbitration Center, as well as Astana International Exchange, provides world-class infrastructure to raise capital and to grow business internationally. It is important to highlight that Kazakhstan has advanced investment support tools such as strategic investment agreement. For example, stability of legislation for up to 25 years that is provided by this strategic investment agreement. It also offers tax and customs duty exemptions, as well as land and infrastructure to potential investors. Consistent efforts and systematic approach of the government to improve the business climate and the business environment were noted by the World Bank, and right now we are number 25 in the doing business ranking by the World Bank, and that's we went 11 positions up in the last 2 years. Therefore, since 1991, the country attracted over 360 billion of foreign direct investments from dozens of countries. Kazakh Invest is a national investment promotion agency of Kazakhstan, which provides one-stop shop service to investors to support investment activities from all the way from initiative to the implementation stage. The stable relations between Kazakhstan and the SICA countries today have a very promising perspectives towards the enhanced strategic partnership. Economic cooperation is an important part of our relations. As of today, over 18,000 companies originated from SICA countries operating in Kazakhstan. 98% of them are represented by small companies, more than half of which is operating in the field of retail trade, services, and only 5 are companies in the manufacturing industry. Investment cooperation has been successfully established with 22 SICA countries. Over the past 2 decades, SICA companies invest more than 50 billion into Kazakhstan's economy. Since the establishment of the organization, the share of investments from the region in the structure of FDI in Kazakhstan has doubled from 9.8% in 2002 to 18.6% in 2020. In 2020, the volume of FDI from the SICA countries has reached 3.2 billion, accounting for the 18.6% of a total inflow. We deeply value their contribution to national economy. During the recent years, we observe a gradual increasing interest of SICA business in an alternative energy sources, the processing sector, such as agribusiness and food processing, into construction, which are the main topic of the SICA Business Forum tomorrow. Now, let me outline that at Kazakh Invest, we have full-scale project office. We have developed over 100 investment proposals in the priority sectors such as agribusiness, food processing, mining and metallurgy, digital transformation, logistics, and many others. We are glad to share them with our SICA partners. Firstly, Kazakhstan serves as an important transportation hub for connecting East and West, providing access to the market of more than 500 million consumers. That includes the countries of Eurasian Economic Union, countries of Central Asian region, plus Caspian Basin, as well as the western part of China that makes in total more than 500 million of consumers. The pandemic has shown that the growing importance of food security. In this regard, Kazakhstan traditionally has been called the breadbasket of Eurasia, and we are naturally positioned to provide high quality food for our continent, as also being one of the wealthiest countries in terms of mineral resources. Kazakhstan has a large mining and metallurgy sector. Moreover, there is a perfect opportunity to develop rare earth metals with creation of smart manufacturing facilities. We also, at Kazakh Invest here, we do, as I said, provide full-scale services to all our potential investors, and we meet them, organize meetings for them at regional level, at the central level here with the ministries, and also do matchmaking our potential investors with our local partners whom we know very well. So to wrap up, Kazakh Invest is committed to provide a comprehensive support during your investment journey in Kazakhstan. This slide shows our contact details. Let me wish the Business Council participant productive discussions. The SICA member countries and Kazakhstan partnership will continue to thrive. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mr. Yusupov, for laying out very clearly the investment attractiveness of our country, the investment projects, the niches and collaboration opportunities. Formerly being a Kazakh Invest colleague myself, I know firsthand about all the hard work that Kazakh Invest, the leading national investment promotion company, is doing at the front of promoting trade, business, and investment relationships between Kazakhstan and all the different countries globally. And thank you very much, Mr. Yusupov, to you personally for your leadership and leading and spearheading all those initiatives. And please pass my best regards to all colleagues at Kazakh Invest and thank them for all the hard work that they're doing with regards to enhancing the business and investment opportunities between our countries. All countries and companies should know one thing. As Mr. Yusupov mentioned, Kazakhstan is the breadbasket of Eurasia and is the buckle of the belt in the Belt and Road Initiative. And any company or country interested in exploring investment opportunities with Kazakhstan should go directly to the unified negotiator, Kazakh Invest. Thank you very much for your kind presentation. Dear colleagues, please allow me to switch to the next section of our Business Council meeting today, which is about comments and remarks by the Business Council members. There is a time limit of 8 minutes that will be given to about 4 speakers who are our Business Council members. So first, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Zhang Yujing, the chairman of the China Chamber of Commerce for import and export of machinery and electronic products. Mr. Zhang Yujing, the floor is yours. I believe we will have a video presentation from Mr. Zhang Yujing shortly. distinguished delegates, dear colleagues, apologies for the technical glitch. I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, Mr.
Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister Mukhtar Talabadi, Chairman Askar Muzakhmetov, Executive Director Kirat Sadabay, dear colleagues. I'm Zhang Yujing, Chairman of the Chinese Business Council (CICA). First of all, on behalf of the Chinese Business Council of CICA, I would like to extend my warm congratulations to Kazakhstan on assuming chairmanship and the opening of the conference, and express my heartfelt greetings to colleagues of the Business Council of all CICA members. In 2014, CICA members made a decision on the fourth summit of establishing the Business Council, which reflected our common aspiration for economic and trade cooperation. I worked as the chairman of CICA Business Council when China assumed the chairmanship during the 2014-18. We held the fourth Business Forum and Founding Assembly of CICA Business Council in Beijing, adopted the constitution of Council, and announced official establishment of CICA Business Council. In 2016 and 2017, respectively, we organized a delegation of Chinese businessmen to participate in a CICA Business Forum in Kazakhstan and Russia. In addition, we held CICA Business Industrial Park promoting meeting in Beijing, invited CICA states diplomatic envoys to China and visit provinces, cities, and presses, and attended CICA Senior Official Committee Conference and special workshops. With this event, CICA Business Council has expanded its influence on a solid foundation. China is the largest CICA member in terms of economic aggregate, foreign trade, and outbound investment. Chinese Business Council is ready to get engaged in action plan in the economic sphere, strengthen contacts with the counterpart, exchange and match business willingness and information with activities and industry parks as platforms. Encourage and support Chinese enterprises to participate in infrastructure projects of CICA members and provide support and services for enterprises to facilitate cooperation in agriculture, food, and construction. According to the constitution of CICA Business Council and the key tasks China engaged, we invite Mr. Chen Xiaojia, Chairman of City Construction, and Mr. Liu Aimin, Chairman of China-Africa TIDA Investment, to join me and work for Council on behalf of Chinese side. They can work on infrastructure construction, agriculture cooperation, and construction, operation, and consultation of industrial parks. They will deliver speech later. We believe that, led by the chairmanship and with the joint participation of various national branches of CICA Business Council, economic and trade cooperation in the CICA will be elevated to a new high. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us all thank Mr. Zhang Yujing for his video presentation to accurately state all the relevant points of our discussion today, and also being very kind to mention the member companies and member countries in our CICA Business Council meeting. So next, please allow me to give the floor to Mr. Manish Mohan, the Senior Director of Confederation of Indian Industries. Mr. Manish Mohan, the floor is yours.
Mr. Manish, are you here?
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I was told that Mr. Manish Mohan will join us a bit later. Let us proceed to our next speaker. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Chen Xiaojia, the chairman of CITIC Construction Company, to present his ideas for collaboration.
Deputy Prime Minister Birti, Honorable Chairman Mirzakh Birtov, Honorable Ambassador Sabile, and respectable representative of all participants and neighboring nations. It is a great honor for us to be a member of CICA China Business Council. I am Chen Xiaojia, the president of CITIC Construction in China. In recent years, cooperation between China and member states of CICA has been deepening cooperation towards win-win results. CITIC Construction is a comprehensive service provider with wide across international operations by providing pre-planning design service for comprehensive one-package solution development. CITIC Construction promotes cooperation in new infrastructure fields and its associated downstream industries and logistic chains to achieve green and sustainable development. CITIC Construction has carried out large-scale projects in Kazakhstan, Belarus, Uzbekistan, and Iraq, over 12 CICA member countries in civil construction, industrial facilities, commercial complex, and smart industrial and agricultural development. As a Chinese committee member, I am ready to join hands with all parties to synergize the social and economic strategies and development concerns of other countries. Despite the impact of COVID-19 on economic and trade cooperation, CICA, as the first region to achieve economic recovery, has demonstrated the resilience of regional integration. I believe that infrastructure development remains an important means for countries to drive economic growth and is one of the most promising directions for our cooperation. I myself am also the president of China Association for International Exchange of Agriculture, and I would like to introduce and utilize our quality resources in the whole agriculture industry chain in hope to drive the comprehensive development of modern smart agriculture, such as agricultural infrastructure, high quality seed industry, animal husbandry, agricultural machinery, and agricultural materials, so as to provide better service and synergize the enterprises of CICA countries. I look forward and believe that under the leadership of Kazakhstan, this session of CICA Business Council will yield fruitful result of cooperation. In conclusion, I sincerely invite representatives of CICA countries to join hands to explore a new model of regional development, tap new drivers of economic growth, and usher a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mr. Chen from the CITIC Construction Company, thank you very much for your kind presentation and for your participation in our today's meeting. We all know the CITIC Group and we all know CITIC Construction and the vast experience and credentials and your international projects globally. Thank you very much for your participation and for all your kind words and for your participation in promoting the trade, business, and investment opportunities among the CICA member states. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Liu Amin, the chairman of China Africa TEDA Investment Company, to make a presentation.
Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister of Kazakhstan, Mr. Mukhtar Labde, Chairman Askar Mazakmetov, Executive Director Kairat Sarbai, distinguished guests, good afternoon. My name is Liu Aimin, the Chairman of China Africa TEDA Investment Company. Thank you very much for the invitation from CICA Business Council. And I am so honored to be here as a representative of Chinese industry park developers. For almost 40 years, China's domestic and overseas exploration and practice have told us that industrial park is an important vehicle for accelerating national industrialization, a significant platform for attracting investment, and also a crucial way to enhance workforce and increase tax revenue. Furthermore, industry park is a key measure for promoting production capacity, economic and trade cooperation among different countries. SICO is the largest and most representative regional security forum in Asia, with the biggest number of participants. We believe that industry park is the key issue for SICO Business Council as to enhance infrastructure, to increase economic and trade cooperation, and to promote industry collaboration, including building materials, machinery manufacture, food processing, and the agro industries. Chinese industry park developers will dedicate to a new era of industry park cooperation among all SICO member countries. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mr. Liu Amin, thank you very much for your kind participation and kind presentation to lay out the opportunities for collaboration, industrial collaboration, especially among the all member countries. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Abhinav Singh from the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry to give us their ideas and perspectives on collaboration. Dear colleagues from the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, please confirm your participation.
Are you here?
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I guess Mr. Singh will not be able to join us at this moment. So please allow me to move on to our final stage, which is about closing remarks on the wonderful presentations and the honorable speakers and insights that we had today. So our today's Business Council program was opened by the statement by His Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Mr. Tleoberde. Then we've heard the statement from the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs, Mr. Ayan Yerenov, on the strategy and support mechanisms for SME enterprises and the role of the Business Council. This followed by the welcoming remarks of His Excellency, Executive Director of the CICA Secretariat, Ambassador Saribay. Then we've heard about the protection of the rights of investors in the court of the Astana International Financial Center and International Arbitration Center, Mr. Christopher Campbell-Holt, the Registrar and Chief Executives, on the measures to enhance investor rights protection. This followed by the wonderful presentation on the Russian experience in supporting agricultural producers by Mr. Pavel Kondrashov from the Russian SME Corporation. We then heard from Mrs. Vermeulen from the Vietnam EU business chapters about the opportunities to grow together. After which we had a presentation from our dear colleagues from the Kingdom of Thailand and the Thai industries on the food export and medical tourism opportunities in Thailand. Then we switched to a speech by honorable members from the Republic of Turkey, the Vice President of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Organization, that talked to us about the opportunities of Turkish construction materials industries. Then we've heard from Mr. Habib Uladan from the Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce and Industry on the opportunities to enhance trade and business and investment in the region. Then we've heard from Mr. Mirjan Yusupov, the leading investment promotion organization in Kazakhstan, on the investment support systems in Kazakhstan by Mr. Mirjan Yusupov. And we were very happy and honored by the participation of our Business Council members, the chairman of the China Chamber of Commerce for Import and Export of Machinery and Electronic Products, Mr. Zhang Yujin. Then we were honored by the participation and kind presentation by Mr. Chen Chiajoa, the chairman of the CITIC Construction Company, and the wonderful presentation by Mr. Liu Amin from the TEDA Investment Company. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, with that, allow me to conclude our today's Business Council meeting. I really hope this was useful to establish contacts to promote and enhance business and investment opportunities among the 27 member states of the CICA. And I will see you all tomorrow at the same time for our business forum. Thank you very much.
If I may, Mr. Do you hear me? Dear participants, on behalf of the dear member of the Business Council, what's happened to them? Dear members of the Business Councils and all the speakers, on behalf of the SICA Secretariat, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to your very remarkable involvement and contribution to the SICA activities. I would like to extend our special thanks to our moderator, Mr. Birimjan, whose leadership here was wonderful and very remarkable. And I would like to apologize, first of all, for some technical difficulties we experienced today that were beyond our responsibility. But anyway, we take this responsibility, and I would like to apologize. And to remind you that tomorrow at the same time, we will continue our work in the framework of the Business Council. Once again, thank you to all of you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues.